Every 5 years, the world's largest democracy heads to the polls. This year, many are seeking a change in leadership. The incumbent party, the Indian National Congress, has mostly dominated Indian politics since the days of independence. But with the economy stagnant, corruption rampant, can Congress fight off its longtime rival? The Bharatiya Janata Party, or BJP, is predicted to win a significant number of seats in parliament this year. But the Nationalist Party, with ties to Hindu fundamentalists, has a prime ministerial candidate with a controversial past that some cannot forgive. And this year's battle between the two leading parties is further split by a rising new political voice. A journey across the country shows a deeply divided nation and India at a crossroads. We begin in a suburb of India's sprawling capital city, New Delhi. We meet Kinshuk Nagar. Middle-class Indians like Kinshuk, who works for an American software company, are worried. The economy has slowed, jobs are harder to come by, and India appears less and less competitive than neighboring China. And so, Kinshuk is throwing his vote behind the BJP and Narendra Modi, its prime ministerial candidate, because of Mr. Modi's pro-business platform.
कितना सीमेंट चाहिए, कितना लोहा चाहिए, कितने सीमेंट के कारखाने चाहिए, कितने लोहे के कारखाने चाहिए, कितने नौजवान चाहिए, कितनों को रोजगार मिलेगा, आप अंदाज कर सकते हैं.
You can see the number of scores of people over here, and they meant Modi ji to be PM. They seriously believe that he is the man for the next generation India. Just give like 60 months to Modi ji and see what happens. If you are true, if it's like it's not working, it's not going to work, then you can always change in the next elections. But at least give one chance to man.
Modi's stronghold is here. We move to the northwest coast of India, to the state of Gujarat. Ahmedabad, the former state capital, is a showcase with smooth paved roads and modern infrastructure. Rajiv Parikh was born and raised here. He runs a logistics and diagnostics company. He too plans to vote for the BJP, which has controlled this state for the last 16 years.
Modi has done a success at the state level. So if those same stories can be taken forward on the national level, it will give us a peace of mind and it will give us a good direction to work forward.
While much of the country's economy has floundered, Gujarat continues to enjoy substantial growth. Many credit Modi's policies.
There is a saying that he is a selective dictator. In our country, we need a dictatorship into a selective segments. Otherwise, a discipline on a civic sense or on the organized sense will not come.
Rajiv lives in a relatively posh Hindu-dominated area of Ahmedabad. It is a city marked with a dark past. During violent riots in 2002, more than 1,000 people were killed, most of them Muslims. But Rajiv feels the prosperity of the past 12 years has also brought peace.
Today, if you see, the entire community is, staying peacefully with each other. Muslims have really felt the reconciliation has taken place already. People are only talking about the riots. We are not talking about the cause of the riots.
The cause that Rajiv is referring to is a horrific train fire that killed 59 Hindu pilgrims, many of them women and children. The cause of the fire is highly disputed. A central government investigation concluded it was an accident. But at that time, Hindu groups considered it a sectarian attack by Muslims. In response, they took to the streets, and several hundred Muslims were killed. Modi has been chief minister through all of this. Some say he did nothing to stop the violence. Some say he may have even encouraged it. The tragedy is forever etched in Asif Khan Pathan's mind.
The attack on every gender or every young age, if it is born baby or unborn baby, they were attacked. Children was attacked, student was attacked. The Muslims, girls or ladies which having the traditional dresses, they were attacked.
Asif Khan and his family remained in one of Ahmedabad's Muslim neighborhoods after the riots.
Jasmine flower. Okay.
He now runs a school.
I try to make and quality education schools because our area need that most.
Ready, steady, go.
There is no drainage system in this area, no water. In my school, we don't have the government water. We have to dig a bore and we have to get the water from 300 feet in the land. There is no sewage, there is no paved road.
We asked him what he felt about the possibility of Modi as India's Prime Minister.
In the last assembly elections, I think that most of Muslims voted for the Congress. We don't have the choices, actually, we don't have the choices.
A drive along some areas in Ahmedabad where Hindus and Muslims live close to each other tell an ongoing story of segregation and disparity. That's where Hindus live, and this side is where Muslims live. Segregation on the basis of religion is hardly unique to Gujarat. Muslims across India continue to be targets and underrepresented in government. And this year's elections are unlikely to change that reality. We move to Mumbai, a megacity of more than 12 million, with thousands of new arrivals daily, seeking better opportunities. We meet 23-year-old Rahul Yadav. 3 years ago, he left his village in northern India. Now he is a food cart vendor in the wealthy southern part of Mumbai, selling pani puri, a popular fried snack. He earns about 15,000 rupees or $240 a month. Rahul's main concern this election, corruption.
अगर हम लोग अपने कुछ पैसा कमाने के लिए अगर धंधा लगाते भी हैं तो उसके लिए तो पैसा देना ही पड़ता है बीएमसी को, पुलिस को, किसी को भी। यहाँ पे गली में भी रहेंगे तो भी आपको बीएमसी का और म्यूनसिपालिटी का, पुलिस का पैसा देना ही पड़ेगा।
Every month, Rahul doles out about 250 rupees, $4 worth of bribes. Those who don't pay up, like these guys, have to pack up and run whenever municipal officers make their rounds. Like nearly everyone we spoke with, Rahul believes his vote counts. Yet he also plans to vote for the very same party that has been blasted by corruption scandals over the last 5 years.
कांग्रेस को हम लोग इसलिए वोट देना चाहते हैं कि पहले आज 5-6 पंचवर्षीय जो ना पहले इंदिरा गांधी थी तो नियम कानून उनको शासनकाल में अच्छा था इसलिए।
Indira Gandhi. When Indira Gandhi was alive and in power from the mid-60s to the mid-80s, Rahul Yadav wasn't even born. Congress has been led by the Nehru-Gandhi family since India's independence and has dominated Indian politics. The current face of the party is Rahul Gandhi.
Nobody can stop any Indian if he asks a question of his government. This is what the Congress party and the UPA has done over the last 10 years.
For voters like Rahul Yadav, Congress means Indian leadership and the Gandhi name. But questions about corruption are increasingly disrupting politics here. There's a new political party that's vowed to sweep out corruption and the old guard. The Aam Aadmi Party, or AAP, is led by Arvind Kejriwal, a former income tax officer and an anti-corruption crusader.
और आम आदमी पार्टी आज इस देश को एक अल्टरनेटिव पॉलिटिक्स देने की बात करती है, ईमानदार राजनीति देने की बात करती है।
Last December, AAP, which grew out of anti-corruption street protests across Delhi, managed to form the government here. AAP's anti-corruption and anti-inflation platform resonated with the working class, in particular with Indians like Naresh Chandjinder.
अब कोई आदमी नया आता है तो आदमी सोचता है ये सही काम करेगा, इसलिए उम्मीद लगाए बैठे रहते हैं।
Naresh is an auto rickshaw driver, working 14 hours a day, every day.
बस ये है कि थोड़ा सा जो हमारा काम पैसा देकर होता था वो थोड़ा फ्री में हो जाए तो ज़्यादा बढ़िया है।
He says life in Delhi improved when AAP took over the local government.
आम आदमी को सपोर्ट ऑटो वाले इसलिए कर रहे हैं कि ऑटो वालों की जो समस्याएं हैं थोड़ी बहुत उन्होंने हल करी हैं। हमारे कोई भी डॉक्यूमेंट है वो अब ऐसे ही हो जाते हैं, लेकिन पहले दलालों के थ्रू ही होते थे वो। आप बुराड़ी में जाइए, बुराड़ी में हमारा बिगर पैसे लिए दिए काम हो रहा है, पहले नहीं होता था।
But the real decision makers in this election are far from the big cities. We move to the northern state of Haryana. The largest number of voters in India are poor, living on less than $1.25 a day. They have traditionally voted for the Congress Party, in part because Congress does things like create the world's largest public works program. It entitles poor families to 100 days of minimum wage employment a year. The work is mostly hard labor. It's meant to benefit Indians like Manjeet Kaur, and yet
पैसे नहीं मिलते हैं।
आपको कभी पेमेंट नहीं मिला है?
नहीं।
एक बार भी पैसे नहीं मिले?
नहीं, हमने 20 दिन का काम किया है, हमें उन दिनों का एक भी पैसा नहीं मिला है। कम से कम 4 महीने तो हो गए।
Since the program was rolled out, it has been plagued with inefficiencies and corruption, leaving many like Manjeet conflicted about supporting Congress.
सरकार ने भले के लिए दिया है तो अच्छा काम है, लेकिन हमें जब हम मजदूरी नहीं मिलती तब थोड़ा मन दुखी होता है।
Manjeet's family is able to somewhat rely on her husband's income. She says she hasn't decided who to vote for. She is hopeful for politicians who might deliver on their campaign promises, even though she admits that for many, voting can come down to something really simple.
जब नेता लोग वोट करने के लिए आते हैं, बहुत सारे घर ऐसे हैं जो पैसे भी लेते हैं। हमें लोगों के लिए पीने के लिए शराब देते हैं, औरतों के लिए पेप्सी पीने के लिए देते हैं।
In the past decade, many Indians like Manjeet have seen or tasted some form of improvement in their lives. She has 2 children. Both attend government schools. This might not have been an option a decade ago. But inflation, especially for food and other basic necessities, is hard on aspirations.
जैसे हमारी ज़िंदगी अभी मजदूरियों में गुजर गई, बच्चे कोई अच्छा काम करें, अच्छे काम में लगे।
By the middle of May, some 800 million Indians will have cast a vote. Despite the national commitment to voting, it's unlikely a winning party can gain a majority in parliament. And India will remain divided along class, caste, regional and religious lines.
हम जो कह रहा है उसकी तरफ वोट पाने की चाहना होती है। हमें रहने के लिए प्लाट देंगे, अनाज देंगे खाने के लिए, कोई कुछ नहीं कहता है। सब अपने अपने वोट लेके पीछे हट जाते हैं।